Hello, Facebook Live. Marcus here. What's happening, everybody? It is a little late. I've been trying to get on live since 7 o'clock this morning. I've been trying to get on camera to say hello to everybody and keep you updated with what's going on and talk to you about one of the worst sanitation practices in the restaurant industry, which I want to talk about. And it happens like crazy and it drives me nuts. So I'm going to talk about that. Extremely busy day here. We sent off a bunch of meals to Vassar Hospital. So Jamie is en route. She's actually delivered them. She's on her way back. We're doing a little construction job today here. We are been cooking. We're packing orders like crazy. I have still yet to get out for my bike ride. I'm going to go out in a few minutes for my bike ride and like I said, I've been trying to get on since 7, 8 o'clock this morning since I've been in the kitchen cooking, and I just haven't had a chance. So now I'm on. Jamie will be on at 4 o'clock with her Facebook Live. I want to talk about one of the worst sanitation practices in the restaurant industry. And I was talking to a couple other people about this, a couple other restaurant professionals about this recently. And it's something that freaks me out when it happens, and cooks are just trained like this. It's part of the training. I don't know why they think it's acceptable, but they think it's acceptable. Even some of the most qualified cooks and chefs out there think this is acceptable, which I'm going to talk about next. So, all right. So before I talk about that, here's what's going on. Burger night tonight, $9.99 burger night tonight. Call your orders in early, 647-3000. We start at 5 o'clock. $9.99 for any burger, including our veggie, our organic chickpea burger. If you want the venison burger, that's $12.99. We can do a venison burger tonight too. We don't have much venison left. Our grocery list is updated. We added on granola today from New England Bake Shop, the Naturals, New England Naturals. We added on their raisin, walnut, cinnamon, apple, and 0 refined sugars in there. They do not use cane juice. They do not use agave nectar. They do not use maple syrup. They do not use any kind of refined sugar like that. It's actually sweetened with apple juice. So it's lightly sweetened. If you pick up a handful and start snacking on it, people will say like, this doesn't taste as sweet as normal granola. Well, look at the ingredients on granola, folks. It is loaded with sugar. And even the organic brands are loaded with organic sugar cane. So this brand here, New England Naturals, their organic line, I didn't read all their labels, but this one is here in stock, and it is sweetened with apple juice. It's lightly sweetened. Jamie actually just walked back in the door. We have an employee here that we're packing grocery orders like crazy, super busy with groceries. You need to email your orders in to Jamie and make sure that she responds to you. And we start picking up after 5 o'clock, typically. Sometimes she will make arrangements for you to pick up earlier in the day, depending upon what you have and what's going on here, because we are, like I said, extremely, extremely busy, super busy. So, thank you everybody for tuning in, by the way. If you can drop a comment, #live, or if you're watching live, or #replay if it's on the replay. Also drop a comment where you're tuning in from. Are you in the Hudson Valley? Are you in New York State? Are you in New York City? Just drop a comment of where you're tuning in from. Are you in California? Are you in Italy? Drop a comment of where you're tuning in from. And again, hope everybody is being safe. It's sunny out. I'm going to get out for a nice bike ride here in a few minutes as soon as I'm done with this live, and enjoy some free vitamin D from the sun, get some fresh air. Fresh air is super important. Water is super important. Your vitamins are super important. Eating healthy, nutritious food is important. And I want to talk about right now I've been cooking since the late 80s, started professionally cooking. And I've worked in a lot of restaurants, a lot of kitchens. I've seen a lot of different types of restaurants. I've worked here in the U.S. I've worked in England in a Michelin 3-star. I worked in actually 3 places in England, all very, very nice places. And there's one common thing, except for the really, really nice places. The really, really nice places are so strict on this. It is insane. And any respectable chef is going to be strict on this. So this isn't the case for everybody. This is just a practice that happens a lot that I've seen in my career, in my 30-plus year career, that is just totally absurd, and it happens like crazy, and it's normal in the kitchens that it's happening in. It's normal practice. It is totally normal practice. It's totally acceptable. The chef doesn't say anything because the chef is doing it himself. All right. So this practice is how they taste food. And because I was having this conversation about this the other day with a couple of people and people from the industry. I actually saw an online survey saying 3 out of 4 cooks do this. 3 out of 4 cooks. I hope they're not doing this anymore because of coronavirus. I hope something's clicking in their brain and saying, okay, it wasn't acceptable before, now it's really not acceptable. Lots of cooks still use their finger to taste with. They pop their finger into the sauce, into the soup, into the food, and then pop their finger in their mouth and lick their finger and then go on their way. Folks, I've been in the business 30 years, and I have seen it. I've been since 30 years. Growing up as a young chef, as a young apprentice, going to all these places, I saw it happen repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly again. And it's something that still happens in the industry, believe it or not. Hopefully not now with the coronavirus going on. So when new cooks come to me, the first thing I show them in the kitchen is, this is a tasting spoon, folks. We have buckets of these in the kitchen on each side, and I know Aaron's online right now. I saw Aaron works for us. Aaron can attest to this. We have tasting spoons on both sides of the windows in the kitchen. And I introduce the tasting spoons to every new person who comes on staff in the kitchen. I go, these are tasting spoons. These are tasting spoons. You use these. I do not want to see you using your finger to taste food. Folks, I've worked for some really well-known, not well-known, but some chefs that are good chefs, and in and out, and they taste, and of course, they don't wash their hands prior, they don't wash their hands after, and it is totally disgusting. I've been turned off by that for years upon years. And when I started working at the Broadmoor in the Greenbrier many years ago, they had tasting spoons. They had tasting spoons sitting in the windows. The chefs there were very conscious. But when new cooks come in, and when new cooks come in here, I introduce them to that tasting spoons. And Bobby's on right now. Hey, Bobby. Bobby was actually the one who got me into cooking professionally years and years ago. So, Bobby, I'm talking about cooking and how many years I've been cooking, and one of the most unsanitary practices out there. And a lot of chefs don't do this, but there are cooks and chefs that still do this. They taste with their fingers. They pop their finger right into the food, and they lick their fingers and taste it, and they go on their way and conduct, and then go and cut a head of celery and keep going. This is common sense even pre-corona. This is an insane practice to do, and it's been insane. And so when the new cook comes in, they get introduced, because I can tell you, I've hired some really qualified cook chefs over the years, and as soon as I introduce this, but it's a habit they have. It's a total habit. They never think of grabbing these spoons. These spoons right here are at the restaurant supply house. They're like $3 a dozen. There's no reason for a restaurant. These are really cheap and flimsy, right? You can bend these, and there's no reason a restaurant should not have cheap, inexpensive, washable spoons everywhere. I buy them 3, 4, 5 dozen at a time. They do get thrown out because that happens. But we have big ones, we have small ones, and they're on every single station. So I see it when I hire new cooks, and they go, and I've never introduced them to them. It takes several times for them to stop that practice, because it's just a normal automatic practice that there's no thought process anymore. It's just subconscious. Boom, I need to taste it. Boom, I need to taste it. Bam, bam, bam. And it's a really, if you know a restaurant that does that, or if you're in the industry and you know a chef that does that, tell them to stop that ASAP. Tell them to stop that. Call them out on it. Tell them it's disgusting, because it is truly disgusting, and it happens way more often than the consumers think. It's just a common practice in a lot of kitchens to do that. So that's a situation with that. One of the most deplorable sanitation practices in the restaurant industry. So I don't know how it started. It started because of laziness, I guess, right? People were just lazy to grab a spoon. So if you are a chef in a restaurant or a hotel or wherever you're at, make it easy for your chefs to carry spoons to have spoons all over the kitchen, so they can taste. And I even worked at a nice place where they would take the same spoon, the chefs, and drop them back into hot water, and then take the same spoon and taste it again, and drop it back into hot water and taste it, and go back and forth as they tasted throughout the course of the meal. And I was like, well, yeah, the hot water's killing any bacteria, but it's still that practice of the same spoon dipping in the water and keeping it in there and then taking it back out. Folks, there's no reason a restaurant should not have 144 of these in stock at all times on the lines, dipping and going. So that's the story with that. All right. So I see a bunch of people on. I see Josh on. Hi, Laura. Laura just dropped a comment. Emojispoon.fm. Really cool. Really cool way to link up to websites now. Take the emoji. And Laura has a site. So if you did the turtle emoji.fm in the search bar, it takes you right to a site. So there are such thing as emoji websites. All right, your domain name is that emoji. So like the smiley face, the glass of wine, the spoon, whatever, the turtle. So Laura has several of these sites. It's really cool. It's domain names. She has them pointed to some of her directories. So if you typed in like turtle.fm, or in this case spoon.fm, it'll go to a website. It's actually the actual domain. They're really cool. They're mostly sold out because they were on sale last year and launched and sold out instantly. So that's really cool. So Laura just dropped Spoon, www.spoon.fm. So I think that's really cool. Her and I have spoken about a couple of things with those websites. Hey, Greg, Bonnie's on. My cousin Gina's on. So a bunch of you are on. Mary, so awesome. All right, folks, that's it for the day. For today, for me, for my live, I have to go on my bike ride now, get some sunshine, get some exercise, keep drinking my water, and then we're back tonight, 5 o'clock, $9.99 burgers, 9.99 burgers tonight. We got the venison burger, $12.99, and we have the rest of our menu. We're going to be launching a new menu here very soon. It's in the works right now. Prices are coming down. Our prices are coming down. You're going to see our menu. You're like, wow, okay. Our wine prices are coming down. I just had a wine rep call me today, and they're like, Marcus, out of all the restaurants that we sell to, all the restaurants I sell to, he goes, you and one other restaurant are the only ones selling wine right now. He goes, a lot of restaurants are buying bottles of wine and still tripling them and quadrupling them and then telling people to take 10, 20% off. There's no value in that. People are going to go to the liquor stores. Our wines here on the racks here, we're going through a ton of wine a week, like 40 cases of wine. All of our wine is $9.99 to $14.99. It's the same price or less than you would pay in a liquor store. And the sales rep said to me, Marcus, you and one other restaurant, out of all the clients that I deal with, are the only ones pricing your wine right. You have to price it cheaper than you normally would, and 10, 20% off does not cut it. A $25 bottle of wine to take out in a restaurant right now does not cut it, because people can walk right into a liquor store, wine shop, and buy an amazing bottle of wine for $15, right? So we go through a ton of wine, all of our wine, $9.99 to $14.99. We have some Prosecco that's up there that's $19.99. It does cost a little more, so that's up there, but we'll sell you any bottle on our wine list. So if you were to come in and say, you know what, that Barolo that you have there, how much is that? I wouldn't sell it to you for what I have it on the list, because that was a normal markup in the normal restaurant world. I would go onto Wine Searcher, wine-searcher.com, and type in the name of that Barolo or whatever wine it is, and then I'd come up with the retail price. And I would say, okay, all these wine shops in New York are selling this Barolo for $43, $45. There you go, $42. There's your bottle, $42. I would like to come in a little under. So that's how we gauge how we price our wine right now in the restaurant. The granola that we just brought in today, we just brought in this granola, right? If you go online right now and try to buy a package of this granola, it's going to cost you $8.99 for 12 ounces. We're selling a full pound for $6.99. So we have undercut, even stuff like that. We've totally undercut. We try to undercut a lot where we're still making money, but we're providing a good value. So across the board, on our entree section of our menu, prices are dropping down. We're getting rid of the formal courses where you have an appetizer, entree. We're doing smaller plates, tapas style plates, and we're creating more of a value. That menu is going to be out very, very soon. You're going to start ordering from that menu. When you start ordering from here, it's going to allow us to be more seasonal. It's going to allow us to use more farm food from more local farms. We already use over 45 small farms here from the Hudson Valley, greater Hudson Valley, whether it's here or the Adirondacks or the Syracuse area or the Hudson Valley or New Jersey or Massachusetts or Connecticut. We deal with 45 farms through a farm hub, through the two farm hubs and one distributor right now. So we use a ton of that, and that'll allow us, when broccoli raab's in season, to make a beautiful broccoli raab dish from like Hepworth Farms or Migliore or some local farmer. This is what this is going to allow us to do, as opposed to taking a pork chop with broccoli raab and like, I don't want the broccoli raab, I don't want the pork chop, I want the broccoli raab, it's going to allow you to just order the broccoli raab at a great price, or the pork chop at a great price. So that's how that's working. That menu will be announced very, very soon. Stay tuned for that. We're super, super excited about that. So, and folks, thanks for tuning in today. I'm not sure what time it is. It's probably almost 2 o'clock-ish. I'm going to get out for my run, and I have an appointment at 3 o'clock. So, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Wow, we're up to almost 40 viewers right now on my side here, I can see. Thank you very much. Just drop again, folks, drop a comment where you're tuning in from. We love to know where our guests tune in from, people that follow us. We get emails every day from people that follow us from all over and saying, I love your information. I love what you're sharing. I love your restaurant. We don't live near you, or we don't get up there often, or we're summer people, this and that. So just drop a comment of where you're tuning in from. That'd be awesome. And you can leave it vague if you want. You can say Hudson Valley. You can say New York City. You don't have to say, for example, like Fair Oaks. You can leave it vague if you want. So that's it for now, folks. I'm out of here, going for my bike ride, and Jamie's back. She's going to pack up some orders. Get your orders in. You have to email your orders in. info@aromatimebistro.com. Wait for a confirmation from Jamie. After 2 o'clock-ish, she's not sitting on her desk anymore, and she's not checking her emails that much. So you might want to just give a call, 647-3000, say, hey, I sent over a grocery order. Jamie was out making deliveries today in Wappingers Falls. We do deliveries. They need to be prearranged ahead of time so we can plan a route out to you.
Donated to Vassar
Hospital today. And then you had some food deliveries as well over in that area in Wappingers Falls. So we covered that area today. We don't get out much for deliveries like that. So we ask that you, we do immediate. If you're within Ellenville, Wawarsing, town of Wawarsing, we can easily get you with 1 day's notice. No problem. Sometimes even same day, depending upon how much it is, what time of day it is, things like that. So that's possible. But if you live outside of Wawarsing, schedule ahead of time with us, a couple days, maybe a few 3-4 days ahead of time, and we'll be happy to get you something if we can, because we need to fill the other route, people in that route that we're going to. So that's the story with that. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. I got to get out of here, and we will talk to you later. Everybody have an amazing day and enjoy the sun.